Absolute here.
Nothing bathroom, nothing bathroom.
All
flooding, they're all flooding.
4 of them hill. One's open.
Huh?
The hell?
Oh my god.
What was
Dylan on
that?
the ram. Dylan on the fucking ram, baby.
That's right, YouTube. Welcome back. We are on board with Envoy today as, for the first time, we are watching him use the RAM. This is one of those maps on Gunrunner where, of course, he started using the MP5. And then this is one of those maps where we first saw him use the Uzi when ammo conversions were still allowed for the Uzi. So he's been experimenting with different guns, and this is one where we'll get to see him for the first time use the RAM. I will say, overall, this was a scrim that was pretty tightly contested against Paris, so I'm pretty sure they ended up winning 3 maps and dropping 2 maps. Some of them that they won were really close. This map also ends up being really close. So if this was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, you might be thinking, what is Chicago doing tying hardpoint maps with Paris? But we all know at the last event that Paris was at, which was CDL London, they played really well, ended up making it all the way to a final before they got beat by Dallas. Dallas looked like they were on just another level in that tournament. So Paris is looking better, and I love that. I love the fact that Paris is looking better, that Toronto just won their own home event. I think it bodes really well for the league. I think viewership is going to be up because of it when it comes time for playoff. I'm just super excited for the next 3 weeks that are going to go by. We'll watch all these teams prepare and all these teams get ready. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into the actual analysis here. So you can see at the top middle of the screen that there are 48 seconds left inside the P2 hardpoint, and Chicago didn't do a great job of keeping Paris off of that P1 hardpoint. So if you're Paris, you know you don't have those initial spawns as it rotates to P2. So you want to try to get as many points as you can inside of P1 to try to counter what Chicago is possibly going to get inside of P2 if you can't get in. And even though Chicago is doing a really nice job of holding down time inside of P2, it's basically a tie ball game. We'll see if they can win rotations here. Envoy is out a little bit early, and this is just one of the roles that he does, right? He's normally the one that's rotating early, trying to hide in new spawn places around the map so that his teammates can get spawns as it rotates over to P3. Right there, he died right at ADOM, so they're going to be spawning up at top coal, as you just saw right there from Envoy spawning top side of the map. As Paris is leaving P2, they're going to try to get the bottom side of the back. So as this approaches P5, at the end of the first set of rotations, if everything holds the same, should be a pretty even ball game. But best thing about scrims is that we can go ahead, we can listen in and hear exactly what Chicago is talking about. I will, of course, still stop it when I feel like there's something important that we want to break down, we want to draw in the background. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's listen into the Chicago team comms and see what they're going to do as we're about to rotate here from P3 to P4.
Dead on time.
Yo, he's outside the corner. He's weak. He went into P5.
It's a heavier cross. You can get in. You can get in.
That's one new.
No, we ain't Zed. We're looking for Zed. Looking for Zed back here.
One's on new. He saw me, bro.
I got Zed in back.
Luke on new.
The lockers right here.
There's only one new. There's probably like 3 now.
I'm gonna pinch, guys. I'm gonna pinch deep.
I'm nading rock.
I pinched short.
Oil dead.
I got one.
Got 3, 3. I'm trying to go mid.
Shocks mid tracks. Shocks mid track.
I like that play right there from Envoy. So just real quick, we were inside of P3, so as we go ahead and draw this up, Chicago is here. We saw Envoy hit the middle part of the map, and essentially all he was doing, Chicago's getting this back P5 spawn, so as they approach P4, they're just going to try to get in and contest as much as they can. So as this is happening, Paris is spawning up on the top right-hand side of the map. Obviously, they want to get as much time inside of P4 to counter what Chicago's possibly going to get inside of P5. So as they're running towards mid-tracks, towards back showers, trying to get inside of P4, I really like that approach from Envoy. He's just going to chill right here in office, try to get as many kills as he can. That keeps Paris from putting pressure inside of P4. So if you're Chicago, you can get the time inside of P4 while also getting the time inside of P5 once it rotates that way. So really nice job there out of him. He did end up going down, but again, 1 or 2 kills in that cross right there, that can be all the difference towards getting that time inside of P4. And as we're about to hit play again, this is where that initial clip comes from. So look to Envoy to turn up a little bit here.
Shock's dead. Shock's dead. Mid tracks.
I'm looking left. I have left.
Mid tracks.
No, he's back right.
You get time.
No, I can't.
I ball mid. I ball mid.
Back right, one shot.
Back right
Nothing
there.
left. Go pick up left. Pick up left.
Shock's and Luke mid tracks. Shock's very weak.
I don't
I
have a
have
trophy.
left. I have bathrooms. Nothing bathrooms.
Trying to get bathrooms for you.
I'll put train.
Absolute here.
Nothing bathrooms, nothing
I'll put
bathrooms.
train forklift.
Holy
All
shit,
flooding,
there's
they're all flooding.
4 of them hill. One's open.
Huh?
What the hell?
Oh my god.
What? What was that?
That second kill there was actually through the wall. Like other guy was open container over there on the right.
You can push if you want.
Back right, back right, back
Probably
right.
gonna flood me left.
I ran out of ammo. Oh, you died too.
Yeah,
Fuck,
one
man.
hit left. 2 hit left.
I need it left. I need it left.
Get in boxes, I'm getting in boxes. Yeah, we got it. Me and Dylan have your help. Me and Dylan have your help.
Oh shit, the ram.
Someone get a P3. Let's get a P3. Let's get a P3. Yo, we should get a P3 right there, fuckers. We gave a full P3.
I was playing tight.
Only green.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Put it back in. Front door just got me. Front door got me.
He pushed.
I'm holding
pushing
it.
boxes right here.
I'm trying to hold the front.
Here, one. Another one there, Matt.
Weak.
2 in, 2 in.
Kiss front door. Kiss front door.
Right here,
Big
dead,
front
dead.
door.
Oh, he's nasty. He's fucking nasty.
Oh, you.
Zed, one shot. Zed, one shot.
I have your mid.
P3,
Over P3. I
P3.
need it over P3.
That's
Hey, you
P3.
wanna land on?
I'm naded,
Let's go
dude.
weak,
Nah,
P3.
I'm naded.
Oh wait, water. Water. 2 middle. 2 middle right now. 2
No
middle.
boxes. I got one middle.
I spawned out DP3.
Got done.
Yeah, one's P3 right now.
There should be spawning 4s.
Dude, they yeah.
Nah, they pinch forward.
So I will say just real quick here because I want to break this down because this is something that you don't really see all that often because the top side of the map is normally locked down. But if Paris had control of P4, most of the time what happens, they're coming up off a spawn, rotating into P4. So a lot of times what happens is this team will rotate through woods and they're trying to get back P5 to flip out those spawns. If they're not able to do that, they're just going to hit ADOM and try to get towards the front of warehouse here. And you just saw right there, Paris approach from the top side. So that'll happen if Chicago had a lot of presence right here, right? In this area of the map, they weren't letting Paris push through. So if you're Paris, your only other option is just to push through, beat them through P3 and go in through boxes. And that's why we saw the pressure on the top side of the map. Envoy came around right through here in this area right here is where Envoy got that other 3-piece before he ended up dying. As soon as he went down, then the rest of Paris came through. So a little bit of a different approach there from what we're used to seeing, but Paris didn't really have a choice, right? It was locked down in front of P4, so they had to try to get in from the top side of the map.
Yeah, this one for us. This one for us.
I got one going P2.
That's on P3.
Oh,
I'm
I
wrapping
fucked
around.
up.
I'm wrapping front L.
Remember the
Good
ball
time right here.
forward
Oil,
here.
one shot, Luca.
I'm
gonna go around forward.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
then-
I mean, inner crates.
Sending in a Chris.
Rock, Zed.
I'll be with Rock in a second. Hang on.
I'll see him
I'm gonna
rock,
come
bro.
green and help you force.
Oh my god, dude. Shock.
Front green.
Shock is front green.
Dirt ramp, spot. One's water ramp, water ramp, water ramp.
We're looking for
Water
a
ramp?
Zed. Looking for Zed
Water
wheel.
ramp, one shot. Zed, one shot wheel. He's in
Got
I'll
me
kill
and
you, I'll
you.
kill you. You
I
dead.
got Zed.
Jump.
Nading hill, one
Set.
shot. I need hill, don't push it. I'm gonna try and cut.
Only wheel.
You can push outside. I'll try.
At this point in time right here, if you're Paris, I know you're down by about 90 points, but this is an opportunity where if you can just keep Chicago off of P1 as it rotates back to P2, you can get 40 or 50 points inside of P2, try to win the rotation to P3. There is an avenue there for them to come back. They just have to execute when it comes to P2 and grabbing rotations when it rotates to P3. If you're Chicago, then you might want to be thinking here about trying to get as much time inside of P1. Like you don't want to be giving up time right now because as it goes to P2, you're not going to have those initial spawns for P2. So Chicago really should be trying to get time inside of P1 so that as it rotates to P2, it kind of negates what Paris is able to do with their stronghold back in P2.
More water.
He's laying down, Seth. Laying down.
Okay.
Flashback right.
Right.
Flashing my
He's like
flashing.
close right train on the box. On the box.
Weak, he ran back in once AC. No, he ran back. There's another guy, red door. Red door got me. They're heading
Door,
to
Sitting under the train.
Remember,
Red
go left, brother. This one.
I'll go left.
Yeah, I'm
Red
going
train.
left. I'm going left. Come with me.
I'm coming.
Ben's dead in hill.
Push that red train.
Yo, AC door, flying in.
I saw your deep left.
Look at deep left.
I'm
Look at deep left.
red train, back right, red train.
He went back right.
Deep left dead. I got deep left.
Nice. Four.
Another one.
Top beam,
deep
top
right,
beam.
deep right,
Red
guys.
door.
Spawning crates, guys. Spawning crates.
Yeah, crates
Top beam,
spawn.
step down, dead. Front door dead.
Spawning crates, guys.
Yeah, push
Yeah,
up. What
They
the
can go
fuck?
top beam. They can go top
I'll
beam.
look top beam.
Water ramp.
Someone look right there.
I have red door. You went around the back.
Feet on dead.
I spawned crates.
Good job.
Looking side down.
This was right here, just real quick. This was a nice job from Chicago of breaking this P2 hill. So as they left P1, most of the time they just flood the bottom side of the map. But as they were doing that, they weren't able to get in, because Paris had one up in top AC, they had one back on this train car, and as they were trying to get in, they also had one on this back door. This is just a lot of focus on this bottom side of the map. So you heard RCs and the rest of them to push left, which means when they came up off of spawn, rather than continue to hit this bottom side of the map, they just went mid water. And once you sneak up here, it really is easier to get in, right? You can get between those two train cars, you can hit the top side of the map while also hitting front door. So that's what they did. They just pushed the middle part of the map, which allowed them to get in from a couple different areas. As soon as they got in, they were able to win spawn. So nice job of adjusting, knowing that that bottom push wasn't working, so trying something else to get in and contest that last 30 seconds or so.
Alright, rotate. I'm leaving you,
Yeah, I
man.
have time. I'm sitting front door hill.
I can try killing for you.
You guys can hit front if you
Yeah, dead
want.
on you. Oh, my bad.
Keep pushing
You
on
guys
left.
can, yo, you guys can hit front if you want.
Yeah, no.
And green,
I'm
and
in the
green.
back,
How much
I'm in
time?
the
How much
back.
time?
Spawning a marker.
Three.
Alright.
One shot dead.
I'm in the back.
Inner dead.
Spawn for us.
You guys all pinch, guys, pinch.
Yeah, we are.
I'm time absolute, dude.
I'm fucking stunned.
Trying to throw shit. There's a guy green. Oh, whatever.
I got one.
Flash on time.
I'm hitting over
Grenade
hill.
over front.
Anytime.
We have a trophy front.
No trophy in hill anymore?
John
Maybe
Heady.
look for
Got
me.
left.
Heady just fucking snaking that shit. Love
I
it.
should have hit ramp, dude. Challenge
Two
me.
of them.
Lock
time.
for
They're in boxes in.
Boxes, yeah.
Just slides front door. Front door. He's just running around.
You
Went
went
to the
back
back
by
right.
doggy,
Went back right.
Back right.
Doggy dead.
No,
Good
no,
job.
no.
Cross.
Let's make
I'm
cross.
gonna go middle,
They
I'm
don't
going
have trophies. They don't have trophies.
Turn on time. I went middle. Oh, forest, guys.
Okay, no.
Dens.
I hit him in hill.
I just choked it. Den's is back for us. I thought you were
Ramp,
gonna
guys.
I'll try to go
Copy
forward.
last.
Yeah,
bro.
ramp.
Shot
Shocks.
ramp.
Dead
Going
front,
for
heady,
forest
one
here.
shot.
I'm going for
One-
forest here.
Three hill.
He's in new, out.
Is
Oh,
he
he
backed
can
all the way
cross.
up?
Yeah,
There's
back
another
up.
one.
He's gonna go
I'm
top
heading
crate.
dead. I'm heading
Yeah,
dead.
top crate then.
I'm nading over hill. Nading over hill.
I got him.
Oh my gosh.
That was all five. They're all small.
Flash front of the old. I hit anything.
From right, hold.
They're
Go
throwing
top.
shit.
I'm gonna go
Oh,
top
fuck
crate.
yeah.
I'm
Good
gonna go top
tracks.
crate.
Good shot, Shocks.
Holy
Two
front. I'm
rotated
holy
over.
front.
Two in front of seat on. Two in front of seat on right now.
Wait.
I
Zig top
have
close, top
You.
close.
That's in you.
Close dead.
It's weak on time. Weak on time. Dead.
Oh fuck.
From
You
bathroom
dead.
dead.
You dead. You dead.
Top close maybe again?
I
Yep,
see him.
I'm holding
I
left.
push.
left.
Water
Yeah,
ramp.
you're
Water
good,
ramp. Weak. Water ramp.
I
I have one ramp.
He went in the bathroom. He went in the bathroom.
Try to look back right.
Water ramp.
He got me. Another one. He's close
Back
left.
right.
Close left.
I'm in close left. Back right. Open. He's gonna try you instantly.
Yes, I have you guys middle. I have
That's
you
not
guys middle.
instantly, but my bad.
Okay.
I need it over.
More in the back, guys.
Play for kills. Flash back right. Down on time.
TK, I pushed through, I pushed through.
TK more than us.
Water, Kismet. Kismet, one shot, water
His
ramp.
here. Zed's absolute their
left.
side. Zed's
Water
absolute.
ramp
Close
has-
left.
Dead.
Jump.
I have left. You still left.
No, I have it. Yeah.
Hey, hold that. By water.
Just wanted to point out that I really like how Chicago played that right there. Once they got into P4, you saw Envoy push up just a little bit further, because if you're Paris, you're not quite expecting anybody to be pushed up further than the hill. So he was able to get a kill or two as he was pushed up, and that just takes more pressure off of P4 and really allows them to just negate a little bit more time from what Paris is able to get inside of P4. As this comes to a close, they get a 250 to 127 victory, and there were quite a few times, even though Envoy only dropped 28, there were quite a few times right there where he got a 3-piece inside of P4. As it rotated to P5, he got another 3-piece in boxes. Really did just look good overall with the Ram. As we look at the scores here, Formal was +6, RC's +5, Envoy +7, Scumpy +11. Really nice map out of him. And Pristini was -1, basically just even. As we look down below, Dens and Kismet both dropped 14. Kismet was 14 and 31, so not the best performances out of them. Zed looked good, Shocks looked okay, Luca kind of hung in there. But with that, that's the end of this one. So comments down below. What did you think of Envoy using the Ram for the very first time? Put it down below. Let me know. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I put out brand new videos every single day breaking down the Call of Duty. Leave a like. It helps out the channel. Thank you guys so much for the support recently. I can't wait to continue breaking this down for the next 2.5 weeks as we get ready for Call of Duty Champs.